Do you ever wonder why certain movies are simply a disaster? Are they truly garbage? Or perhaps they are misunderstood?
Welcome to the main course of cinematic catastrophe that is Le Crap with your gourmet Chef Bri and Chef Gio.
Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Lake Crap, where we have slowly but surely overcome our psychic damage. My name is Bri.
And I'm Gio. And yes, we needed to take a little bit of time to recover after our last adventure.
It was certainly an adventure, which, by the way, this is like a little PSA. I mean, yes, drinking and watching things is fun. Don't watch movies you have no idea what it's about. Stay sober. Don't make the mistake I did. Drugs are bad, kids. Except when they're good.
Real words of wisdom.
But yeah, we kind of found this. Oh God, what was it like at the end of last episode or like in between editing? This is like interesting to us personally for like multiple reasons, but we're actually covering our first Japanese film, which shockingly, we're just getting to it now.
Yeah, because both of us are big time weebs. I mean, we met through a Bleach wiki like 10 years ago. So, like, the fact that it took us this long to get to a Japanese film is crazy. But, like, also it kind of speaks to, like, the different standards when it comes to making products, because, like, American films, you can find shit by the bunches.
Oh yeah, like we have like a Walmart for like bad movies.
But, like, when it comes to Japanese stuff, it is so difficult. Like, it says a lot that I tried finding the worst anime I could, and we ended up on a Korean movie. But let's move on from Golden
let's
Bat,
move on
please.
from this, please. But yeah, but to kind of touch on the point that you just made, I kind of feel like a lot of like the bad Japanese media is mostly for like TV anime, which, you know what, that's kind of self-explanatory. Like a lot of that makes sense. But yeah, it's kind of harder to find something like that's that level of bad that we find interesting, because a lot of stuff that's honestly like truly rancid usually just becomes lost and is never found again.
Yeah, I mean, it was by some miracle that we could even find Golden Bat in the first place, because there's only like 2 incomplete versions left, and we picked the less crusty one. Which, considering how crusty it still looked, I don't even want to know what the original one looked like.
I don't think Mr. Krabs was feeling it.
Definitely wasn't. But anyways, so that brings us to the movie that we have on tap for today. And today's is going to be a bit of an odd dish. So, since I was coming up empty when it came to like bad anime films, I decided to go with my old tried and true love of kaiju movies. So, just one thing to know about me, I am a big Godzilla fan. So at first I was like, okay, what's the worst Godzilla movie I could find? But like when it comes to like the bad Godzilla movies, you know, the one that everybody thinks of is 1998.
Here's like the thing about 98 is, honestly, for like a disaster movie that was like popular in that era, like it's fine. It's just a bad like Godzilla movie. But I think as in like action movie, it's fine.
Yeah, like if the monster was called something else, then I think it would have gotten more of a pass. But just the fact that it was a Godzilla movie, it was just like, no. So I looked up, okay, what's the worst kaiju movie I could find? And so I stumbled upon this little gem from 2010. It's called Death Kappa. So for those of you who are unaware, a kappa is a Japanese yokai that resembles a turtle and is known for such lovely acts as kidnapping children, eating cucumbers, stealing the soul out of people's asses. No, I'm not making that up. and other such degenerate acts. Perfect inspiration for a Pokemon, by the way.
Right, and also, honestly, what I strive to be as a human being, like, those are aspirational goals. Just to steal people's assholes.
I'm not joking about the Pokemon part, by the way. So, Pokemon players out there, think of Ludicolo and its pre-evolutions, and you'll get what we're talking about.
Yeah, that tracks.
Yeah, so I got my notes on this thing, and the thing that drew me to this movie in particular was that poster. Oh boy, that poster. Just
What
the
a poster it
tagline,
is.
just the tagline alone. King Kong is dead. Godzilla is retired. A new monster is in town. Which, as absurd as that line is nowadays in a post Monsterverse and Godzilla minus one world, remember this movie came out in 2010. By this time, the last King Kong movie to come out was the Peter Jackson one in 2005.
And then the last Godzilla movie was in 04, right?
Yeah, Final Wars in 04 was the last one. And then we wouldn't get another King Kong movie until Skull Island in 2017. We wouldn't get a new Godzilla movie until 2014 with the legendary one. And we wouldn't get a new Japanese made Godzilla until Shin a couple of years later. So, as ridiculous as that tagline sounds, it's not too inaccurate for the time.
Yeah, because, yeah, going back to Shin, yeah. Which is, like, crazy that, because I feel like we should just have some backstory to, like, how the Godzilla franchise kind of got to diminishing returns after some, let's just say, controversial story choices. But yeah, the Japanese ones, until Shin, there wasn't, like, a Godzilla movie in, like, 12 years, which is crazy.
Yeah, with like the Kaiju renaissance that we've been in for like the last decade plus now, it's insane to think that we went a whole decade without like the big names of like giant monster movies. I mean, 12 years between Japanese made Godzilla films and like also a dozen years between King Kong films. It's nuts to think about. So from what I understand, this movie came out as kind of an homage, I want to say, to those kinds of movies. And so most of the info I got on this movie came from Wikizilla. Shout outs to them. And when looking at the comments on the page of this thing, it's pretty much divided down the middle of people who thought it was dumb fun and people who thought it was the worst thing they'd ever seen. So that should tell you what kind of experience we're in for.
The best kind of experience.
Yeah, so
Let me just add this. So, just to kind of summarize this, what you're saying is this is basically the Last Jedi of kaiju films.
oh no. Oh God.
I had it. I brought that up because I was talking in my writing server this week, and I said like my very controversial, but also absolutely fucking correct opinions on The Last Jedi, and people agreed with me. Especially the fact, like here's the thing, like Last Jedi to me is like a good film, but it's also very flawed filmed. The biggest cardinal sin of that movie is how they waste fucking Laura Dern. And correct me if I'm wrong, there's some celebrity is celebrity the right word, but there's some special cameos in this film. I hope they don't get wasted in that like Laura Dern was.
Oh yeah. So that leads me to the cameos in this movie. And going back to the Big G for a second and Shin Godzilla. Hideaki Anno is in this movie, which for those who don't know is the guy behind Neon Genesis Evangelion, as well as the Shin movies, so Godzilla, Ultraman, and Kamen Rider, which more on Ultraman's relation to this in a bit. There's some deep cut Ultraman reference in this. And also Shinji Higuchi, who's a frequent collaborator with Anno, is also in this movie, which I'm just thinking, what?
Yeah, it's like so wild for a movie that's supposedly like, because I don't know what kind of movie this into, but when you hear the name Death Kappa, you're not thinking about anything like super hardcore.
No, not at all. So I mentioned an Ultraman reference earlier, and that comes from an actress in the film by the name of Hiroko Sakurai, who actually played Com Officer Akiko Fuji in the original Ultraman series. Her character's name is Fujiko. Get it? You get it, yeah. And when I read that fact, I got some really, really bad flashbacks to one movie from, I can't even remember how many years ago this one was. It's another movie that I'd like to cover at some point because it was just so bad. But it was called The Dead Don't Die. It was another movie
God.
it was a pseudo comedy. I use the word comedy loosely with that, starring a bizarre amount of high profile like actors in it. Like we had Bill Murray, Adam Driver, Tilda Swinton.
Oh God, that I completely forgot the movie existed till you brought it up. Oh yeah. Yeah, we should bring that up. Yeah, I heard, oh yeah, that might be a bad one.
Oh my god, it was insufferable. Like aggressively unfunny. And then it tries to shoe in this like pretentious moral at the end to make it seem deeper than it really was. Oh
My favorite
god.
genre.
God. So I was just thinking of like, this is a comedy movie starring well-known people, and like I think Tilda Swinton's character is like named something like close to, oh, her character's name is Zelda Winston. That's her character's name in that movie.
Oh, okay.
And so seeing that an actress from Ultraman was in this and her character's name is like an alteration, like light reference to like her character's name there, that's when I thought, oh no. Oh no. Don't tell me this is Japanese Dead Don't Die. That is not a thing I need in my life.
Oh God.
So I'm hoping that this movie is more on the fun side than that.
So we're just gonna, like Madonna, we're just like a barrel singing there. Da, da, please don't suck. I mean, do suck, but like not the way that Madonna's talking about.
No. All right, moving past that. Before we get to the movie, there is one other thing that we need to mention is that we're going to be watching the English dubbed version of this movie. Yes, they have a dub. Yes, it is dubbed by various well-known anime voice actors you might recognize. Christina V voices the lead in this movie, and there's other notable names along the lines of Lauren Landa, Tony Oliver, Kirk Thornton, David Lodge, Aaron Fitzgerald, Karen Strassman, Spike Spencer. It's basically 2010's Bleach with the dub cast.
I'm not sure which studio dubbed it. I'm assuming it's either Bang Zoom or Studiopolis because that's kind of the crowd. Maybe not as much there, but still kind of. But yeah, wow, what a blast from the past. Holy crap.
Oh, yes. And let's look at the rest of my notes. Okay, so another thing to mention is that this was actually a co-production with the US. This movie actually premiered in the US first. It premiered at an Asian Film Festival in New York on June 25th, 2010. And it didn't hit Japanese theaters until November 27th of that year.
Whoa, really?
And what's crazy about this is that the Japanese version is actually 6 minutes longer with an alternate ending. So I don't know if this is the version that we get, but just putting that out there that the Japanese version is actually a little longer.
That's actually kind of wild.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna flip a coin and hope for the best. But I mean, I'm hopeful because our track record, honestly, we've been pretty much going like 5 or 6, not bad, I mean, we're still starting out, but I'm having hope. Last week was a fluke. It can't possibly happen again, right? right? Right?
Yeah,
Anyway.
more often than not, we've landed on dumb fun, like stuff like The Marine. I'm hopeful that this movie is closer to The Marine than something like Dead Don't Die. Please no.
Don't say its name, it might come.
Say its name and he appears. I'm not going to do the Joe Henry shtick. I'm sorry. Please.
All
And
right.
let's just watch the movie, please.
So just a quick reminder to how we do things on the podcast. Gio and I are going to watch the movie, and then a few moments your time after you hear a little trailer, bloopity bloop, we'll be back and we'll give you our thoughts.
Nothing you have seen can prepare you for the new Mega Mammoth of Motion Pictures. A new colossal creature of carnage. Death Kappa. It came from the watery abyss. Is he friend or foe? See an inferno of utter devastation. Tokyo ravaged in a titanic trail of terror. In an epic battle of spectacular violence. Can humanity survive the power of Death Kappa? See Death Kappa.
Kappa. Oh. Well, that was an experience.
That was. I'm honestly kind of torn.
This was like 4 different movies in one. There were moments where this just became an entirely different movie. And like,
Yeah, honestly, what it reminds me of, based on what we've watched so far, like this to me had more in common with Jupiter Ascending in terms of like the structure.
yeah, I could see that. Where it's like all of a sudden the plot just completely changes. But like in terms of like the tone of this movie, like it is very intentionally trying to be a satire. So like in that sense, it would be more like something like Dragon Lives Again.
Yeah,
But like the thing is, like Dragon Lives Again, I feel like
it was a much more clever satire. It wasn't like wink, wink, wink. Because I think Dragon Lives Again makes the assumption that you don't need to be explained this stuff. Like, you loved Bruce Lee. Like, I don't think you'd be watching this movie otherwise.
yeah, but with this movie, it feels just so like in your face, like, huh? Get it? Get it?
Yeah, which honestly, like, as a writer, and not even just as a writer, but as like an audience member, that shit just low key kind of annoys me. Like, don't insult my intelligence. Like, assume that I'm smart enough to figure this out. I mean, I know I'm not smart, like, to willingly watch a movie called Death Kappa, but let's just pretend that I am.
It's the lack of subtlety for me. I know that I brought up The Dead Don't Die before this. I think the comparison is warranted because, like, on the one hand, I did laugh a bit more at this movie than that one, but like, so much of that movie was like so on the nose, like Tilda Swinton's character being named like Zelda Winston or whatever, or Adam Driver having a keychain of the Death Star or like something like that. Yes, that really happened. But let's start from the beginning with this movie. Because, like I said, this movie, like the plot just completely shifts. I think like 3 or 4 different times.
I actually have a question about the beginning, which we'll get to in a second, with the aforementioned Kappa. Because there's this one scene where it gets really violent really quick. Was that the Kappa or was that like something else? Like, so much of this movie, like in terms of like the editing and like the camera work, it's very confusing and hard to follow. And you could tell this movie was made in the 2010s from like all the fucking shaky cam.
Yeah, no. So I think that stuff at the beginning was supposed to be the fishmen.
That would probably make the most sense. Like, the fishmen just kind of appear. But anyway, we'll get to them in a second. Let's just start at the beginning.
Let's just okay. So movie starts with our main heroine, voiced by Christina V, and like I'm gonna give her a pass with this because I think this was like around the time when she first like broke out of YouTube and was doing like major voice acting. So I'm gonna give her a pass on the dubbing being kind of.
Yeah, honestly, a lot of the dubbing here, like we watched this on Tubi, and like so much of it is off. Like I don't know if that was done on purpose to be like an homage to the old like Showa era like Godzilla films, but
oh god, I didn't even think of that. Like the ADR was like slightly off.
Like the whole audio track is like slightly off, which part of me thinks that was done on purpose, but it was kind of annoying just because I noticed little imperfections like that. I don't know, it sets off my OCD.
And like this kind of ties in, like I know I said that we start with our heroine and all that, but there was actually a part before that with this like American like professor.
Oh yeah, we got
whatever.
confused. Like I thought, wait, did I accidentally download the Japanese version? And then I skimmed ahead.
So okay, yeah. So like they had this like American like professor dude like explaining like stuff like the Kappa and like all this other stuff. And he was talking in Japanese.
Oh, that's
a fever dream. Oh, that's foreboding.
Yeah. Oh god.
God, look at it.
寒冷地ではつい最近まで目撃情報のあるマンモス。
Wait, I thought you said this was a dub.
It does. It does go in the English.
幻の珍獣土の子。
Hold on. This might be Japanese. Let me just figure out what's going on a sec. All right. So I actually looked it up. I do have the right one. So it randomly goes to Japanese and then the English.
Oh no.
No, I'm like going fast forward. No, that's definitely Christina Veeds is talking. So, because I'm watching on Tubi now.
Did they just forget to dub the intro?
No, it happens like multiple times. You know what? Let me just see. Maybe I'll just play the Tubi version as like a screen share.
べきではないでしょうか。
The city was cold-hearted to me.
So, yeah, it's
My dream was never
randomly
meant to be.
Japanese and then English.
I realize now that
So we were thinking, maybe we got the wrong version. Then we watched a little ahead, and then, well, there's Christina V's voice. So I guess what they actually did is that in the original version, this dude was speaking English, but here, everybody else is speaking English, so they just dubbed him in Japanese.
I mean, that's the only thing that would even remotely make sense to me.
And like going back to like the shaky editing and stuff, in this part where he's telling like the opening narration, like everything felt kind of I don't even know what the word would be for it. Like kind of like stilted and like glitchy, like things just kept like skipping.
Yeah, like the frame skipping thing. Like, and I was like, is that a file? And I was like, no, the Tubi version's like that too. And I don't think it was on my end because it was like high speed internet. It's just no, it almost like skips frames and it's like very weird.
Yeah. That's how I would put it. This movie is very weird. But anyways, we skip his little narration thing, and so we get to our heroine returning home to, I guess she was like a Japanese idol that was like coming back to like her remote like home like in the mountains or something.
Yeah, like I guess she kind of like was the implication to you that she was a failed idol?
Yeah, because I think she said it at one point that like nobody really liked her music back in like Tokyo or wherever she was. So I guess she like comes home, she meets the Hunchback of Notre Dame and Moist Critical in this town.
Like legit, dude looks like our friend Charles.
Those kind of like outskirt regions in Japan.
Yeah, you know what it reminds me a lot of? We have something similar by us called the River Line. It's like only like one or two cars, and it's almost like a trolley. It's like an express between like Philly and Lake Kingdom. Oh, hi Igor.
Why? Okay, then.
I guess we're just not gonna talk about that. We're just moving on. Cool. Okay, fine.
Oh, hi, Moist Critical. How you doing?
It's Charles.
I'm surprised he doesn't talk about this role as much as the Hunger Games.
I was just about to say that. I'm like, I didn't know he was in another movie other than the Hunger Games.
The Death Kappa situation is crazy. Yeah, I wonder why he doesn't talk about this cameo as much as he does the Hunger Games.
But yeah.
So yeah, I just wanted to talk to you guys about this today because I actually met a Kappa, a very silly goober of a Kappa. So yeah, anyway, just wanted to talk about that for a minute. That's it. See ya.
God damn it, your Charlie impression, Jesus Christ. But speaking of home, like, first of all, our protagonist doesn't even technically get home first. She deals with tragedy very early on.
Oh yeah, so she runs into her grandmother walking in the middle of the road. And by the way, her grandmother is the aforementioned Fujiko, the former Ultraman actress. And that's really the first of the nudge, nudge, wink, wink, like little jokes that they made. And as soon as she meets her grandmother, this group of like, I guess, drunk like college students, like, just drives past and like ram into the grandmother, send her flying.
Oh god, is this gonna turn into I Know What You Did Last Summer? Oh god, it is! I Know What You Did Last Summer! Oh no!
Oh shit.
Oh shit.
Just an old lady.
Wow, okay.
Yo!
Uh-oh.
Let's go.
Okay, fuck y'all then.
Yeah, fuck y'all.
They get out of the car, take one look at the grandma, and are just like, oh, well, we just had an old lady. They just shrug and just drive off.
Bye! It's like, screw you guys.
So yeah, she's back home for like 5 minutes and her grandma gets run down by some drunk college kids.
And I love how I was like joking at the beginning about, I was like, oh god, this isn't gonna start like, I Know What You Did Last Summer. And then literally like 30 seconds later.
Never fails. So then our heroine goes back home. She like finds out that like her family like reveres the Kappa, like sets up some cucumbers for it. And then we see these college kids like on the beach, I think. No, wait. I almost forgot. After they run down the grandma and speed off, then they run into like this shrine for the Kappa that's like perched in the middle of the road for some reason.
Yep.
They just ram into it and they send it flying like in Smash Bros or something.
Right, which at first, like,
water.
we had to go back, because at first I thought that they just, like, Thelma and Louise it off the cliff.
Yeah, no, this thing was just sitting in the middle of the road and it lands in the water. And then, like, I guess the Kappa wakes up in like this really like dramatic, like superhero pose type of deal. So this is where we get to the second movie in this movie, where our heroine meets the Kappa and like starts partying around with it because like, I guess the Kappa likes her music.
The Kappa says, go!
What?
Great giant monster movie we got going on.
But you know what I also like is the implication that in the 2010s that they're still doing cassettes.
But now, look how much Kappa likes it. I'm really glad that I came back to live in Shirikodama.
Also, what a ringing endorsement. Nobody liked her singing until the turtle monster did.
Thanks to Kappa. Thank you, Kappa.
That's definitely the face of somebody who steals souls out of assholes.
Yeah, her terrible garage band music.
Oh yeah, we'll get into the movie's use of music and sound effects in a bit. So like, just partying around with the Kappa, having a grand old time, just like da 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 da. Meanwhile, the college kids show up at the beach. They're like munching on corn dogs, and like the dubbing on these guys is like so.
Oh, it's atrocious.
Oh my god. Like, for the amount of notable voice actors that are in this movie, I am sure none of them are in any hurry to bring this up on their resumes.
Oh, Lord, no.
Like, yes, this dub is just plain atrocious. Like, nobody gave a shit. Nobody gave a shit that day.
No shits, no fucks, none given.
So the college kids get attacked by like this unseen force, and like the two girls get kidnapped by the men in black, like complete with tasers. And so then they go and they kidnap the Kappa and the girl, and this is where the third movie kicks in. And
and then we have our first, well, actually no, our second major cameo. I'm like 95% sure.
Oh boy, does this shit go off the rails mega quick.
Like full on Looney Tunes.
Homegirl wakes up and she is in like this mad scientist lair with this scientist lady has like an army of fishmen that were made with like Kappa DNA or something.
It's so weird.
And like this whole thing was like so, I don't even know how to describe it. Like I said, it just turns into a completely different movie at this point. Like this mad scientist lady who, by the way, the actress playing this lady, she just said, fuck it, I'm gonna do this.
Yeah, Karen Strassman just went, you know what? Fuck it. Like, bring in the fucking Marlowe.
Oh my god. Like, she's parading around like her grandfather's corpse in a wheelchair, and then she starts monologuing. Holy crap, she starts monologuing about like how her grandfather started like this experiment in the Second World War where they were going to use like these mutant fish creatures to invade the US.
Oh yeah, we failed to mention that. Yeah, they're all right-wing Japanese nationalists.
What the fuck?
Well, that escalated quickly.
They are the embodiment of my grandfather's entire life. His research, blood, sweat, and even his tears. Grandfather was an elite scientist, working for the Japanese army during the Second World War. And he had the brilliant idea to make enhanced humans using skin cells of a mummified Kappa.
You mean my Kappas?
Yeah. Though the Kappa mummies in the Umahikos synchronizing and coming back to life was unexpected. The Japanese army suffered from numerical inferiority. So as a last resort, we were going to remake all of our surviving soldiers into Umahikos and launch an invasion of the American homeland, turning the tide of war.
Oh, okay.
Grandfather continued his research in secret, day and night.
Honestly, I'd take the fish, man.
But some
Yeah,
bleeding heart army bigwigs made a big stink about it being unnatural and inhumane, and the research was eventually cancelled. But grandfather never gave up on the idea.
Yep. So then her little working comrades show up, and one of them is our good buddy Hideaki Anno. Just shows up in straight up like fascist military gear, like cracking his whip in his hands. Like he's from fucking Full Metal Alchemist. And it's like, dude. So I guess like their evil plan is to like take the Kappa, like take its DNA, create this huge army of fish people, like return Japan to like the feudal way. I don't know. Like all three of these guys, Anno included, were so like over the top, like comically over the top. And like so they try to like transform the girl or whatever, but then the Kappa shows up, uses its sumo moves, beats up the fish people, and then the crazy scientist lady, she just breaks out a fucking like
nuke!
No. First she breaks out the machine gun. How many rounds does this one gun have?
How the hell did they get it in Japan?
Now who's gonna make Shin Godzilla?
Ew, what the
what
fuck?
the fuck? Yeah, first she whips out the machine gun, starts shooting everywhere, freaking unloads half a clip into Anno.
Oh yeah, yes, no, he's doing his best Masato at the end of Evangelion impression. Holy shit.
Yeah, he gets wasted. He gets wasted.
Like, he gets so wasted, I thought it was John Cena in the Marine. Like, that's the amount of wasted.
Oh my god. Which, you know, by the way, now that I think about it, like, the three most prominent cameos in this movie have the three most brutal deaths. First, we have the lady from Ultraman gets fucking run over the first 5 minutes. Then we have Anno getting unloaded on. And we'll get what happens to.
Oh yes,
we'll get to what happens.
Which is the peak of the movie.
We'll get to the third cameo in a bit. We'll get to the third cameo in a bit. So, anyways, crazy scientist lady then decides to set off a fucking nuke that they just happen to have. She just sets off this fucking nuke, and then an ad break happens.
Who could have done such a thing?
You did, you stupid bitch.
I just can't take all of this anymore. I'm gonna blow you all away!
In what way, sweetheart? Oh, that way. Okay.
No. That's the switch for the atomic bomb that'll take this lab's secret and the village outside and wipe it off the face of the earth.
Oh, they just have an atomic bomb now too?
Just how crazy are you?
Sweetheart, she just made out with her grandfather's corpse. You tell me.
You know what? I really hate when people
And
like you
she's
try
a
and tell me
Japanese
what to
naturalist,
do.
so yeah, there's quite a bit of
I'm
crazy
pushing
involved.
it. Don't push it! Sweet.
Wow, look at that compositing.
Like that one episode of Billy and Mandy where Mandy smiles and undoes all of reality.
What a transition!
Wow.
Quiz with Balls returns. New season premieres Monday, June 2nd on Fox.
Just perfect timing. Just truly the best.
So this ad break happens, and that's when it turns into the fourth and final movie. The actual Kaiju movie. So I guess one of the fishmen got like mutated by the bomb, turns into this giant like Godzilla-like creature with one vocal sound effect.
Yeah, he's going "Rah! Rah! Rah! Rah!" for like 15 minutes straight.
Just imagine that like 500 times over and over and over again. Like, even Godzilla has more vocal effects. Like, he's not just can you imagine a Godzilla movie where he's just doing that same roar over and over and over again?
Yeah.
You get fucking sick of it.
Yeah, it's honestly like really just wow.
And then the soundtrack that's playing the whole time is just the same note over and over and over and over again.
Legit, if you told me that they did the score in GarageBand, I'd believe them. Like, there's no like traditional like orchestral score or anything like that. It's just literally like a bunch of like, you know, virtual instruments being played. It is so bizarre.
This whole sequence is bizarre. And by the way, so Japanese defense forces show up and, well, I say they try to fight off the monster because apparently they just sent like the worst fucking soldiers imaginable to do this.
Mommy.
They all like wussy out. They can't shoot it. And every time one of them dies, they cry for their mommy. Every single one. It was like, mommy. It's like, my God.
like, bro wasn't built for this at all.
Oh my God. So they break out like the super like Gorgon death laser that I guess they just had lying around.
Yeah, like you do.
Oh, before we get to the death laser, let's get to the planes and the tanks.
Oh God, yes.
Oh my God. This is where it just stopped being cute and it was like, oh God, really? Because I guess they were using like models for like the planes and the tanks and everything, and you could still see the strings that they were hanging on. You could clearly still see the strings they were hanging on. Like, they did not even bother to hide them.
Yeah, it's just...
my God.
Yeah, just honestly, like, can't say I was a fan.
So they break out the death laser. Death laser doesn't work. More soldiers die crying for their mommy. And then our third cameo shows up. Mr. Higuchi as a reporter.
Oh, God.
And just like his collaborator, Buddy Ano, he also meets a very grisly fate. Or should I say, an action figure of himself meets a grisly fate.
And now, to report on how things are going on the front line, Mr. Omobe. Mr. Omobe?
Yes, Omobe here. The monster Hangulus is rampaging even harder than before. The SDF's attacks seem to have only served to provoke it further.
I want to say this is Higuchi.
Each time it's attacked. Listen, did you hear that
I think
roar?
I remember like
the
castle is saying that he was like a reporter. So I think
yeah, it looks like him. I'll have to double check off a photo.
As long as possible. This peace we enjoyed until yesterday is about to completely collapse thanks to this one terrible monster. The world that all humanity has known until now is about to be... Yeah, well, it looks like time has run out for our reporting team, and... It's sad, but... This just might be the end. Goodbye, everyone! Goodbye! That's hot!
Okay.
Pause it. Oh my God.
Okay, that made it worth it.
They just found like a action figure in like a store somewhere and just lit it on fire.
So, if it wasn't already apparent that this is obviously is satire, here's like my thing so far is like, I feel like a lot of it's just trying to be like too cute, like saying, ha, like get it. But I'm sorry, that was fucking good. That got me. Oh my God, that was great.
That honestly vindicated the whole movie for me.
Legit saved the movie. Like, we're not even joking, because like 3/4 of this movie is like, you know, like putting me to sleep. Like, it is like, this movie is only like 79 minutes, but it is a slog to get through.
Oh my God, it was such a slog. And like the sound design of this whole thing just made it feel like so much more of a slog, because they just reuse the same effects over and over and over and over again. And it's not like with Dragon Lives Again, where it's like they probably just didn't have the budget for more effects. And also, that movie was in 1979. This was in 2010. I just feel like they didn't care.
Yeah, it just, like, don't get me wrong, like, it's a cool concept to have. It just, in terms of execution, I kind of feel like they missed the boat here.
Yeah, no, definitely. So after that happens, our buddy the Kappa shows up. And I'll give them this. The Kaiju fight scene here was actually pretty legit.
Yeah, like, it was legitimately well done.
And it was choreographed like a WWE match. Like, they were hitting like clotheslines and like Samoan drops. I think the Kappa used the attitude adjustment at one point. Honestly, the fact that this movie had an attitude adjustment, but the actual John Cena movie didn't.
Yeah, that's
like,
still kind of crazy.
Oh my god, but this fight goes crazy hard, and at one point the Kappa rips off the fish monster's tail, and you think like, oh, he's just going to use it like a bat and beat him with it. Doesn't do that, so they couldn't even do that right. And so he beats the fish monster, then gets pissed off for some reason, starts destroying the town. And then the main hero girl shows back up. They don't explain how she survived a nuclear explosion unscathed when she was right next to the bomb.
Yeah, like, no, she's just, I'm here. Yeah, she's just like, oh, I guess I'm okay.
She just walks in like, hello, friend. She plays another little song for him, like waters the bowl on his head, calms him down. And then he just turns around and goes into the water, and
bye, Kappa.
And that's the movie.
Yeah.
Honestly, if it was not for that last fight scene, there would have been nothing to like about this movie.
Yeah, honestly. Yeah, like, there's parts of it where I wanted to like this, but honestly, this has kind of been like my least favorite one, because I was talking about this in like our watch along, but it reminds me so much of like the Family Guy joke, where they're drowning in the closet or whatever, and they're talking about the Godfather and how Peter didn't really care for it. And like that, I kind of feel like this movie insists upon itself.
It insists upon itself. Yeah, like, I know I keep comparing it to Dead Don't Die, but the more I think about it, the more it feels accurate. Because they try to tell jokes, but the jokes just kind of fall flat. And like, they feel like so forced. The jokes in this movie just feel so forced. And like, they are just so insistent on the nudge, nudge, wink, wink type of humor that it's just like, stop.
Yeah,
stop.
For real, stop.
And then like, even at the end, like, the one like general dude is like trying to give like this philosophical like moral thing, and even then it's like Dead Don't Die when they tried to shoehorn in a pretentious moral at the very end. Ugh, my god, you do not want to remind me of Dead Don't Die. Like, that had to have been the most pretentious, unfunny movie I have ever seen in my life. And like, I will give Death Kappa one thing. It made me laugh a couple more times, which is more than I could say for Dead Don't Die.
Yeah, I mean, there were some like actual like legitimate jokes in there.
But yeah, outside of that crazy kaiju fight scene, there was just nothing to this.
Yeah, it just, like you're saying before, this is like 4 separate movies. There's like no structure. It's like, oh, thing happens. Oh, thing happens. Oh, things happen. But when you're writing, you actually need to have like these seemingly separate events like connect to each other.
It's like when the giant fish monster shows up, we're only supposed to assume that it's one of the fishmen mutated, because he just kind of shows up after the bomb happens. Like, we don't see the fish monster transforming or anything. I guess they didn't have the budget for that. It's just explosion happens, boom, monster. Like, God, I wanted to like this movie.
Yeah.
I wanted it to just be dumb fun, because I love dumb fun and I love kaiju movies. But it doesn't even become a kaiju movie until over halfway through.
It's like more than halfway through. It's like almost 3/4 of the way through.
Yeah, before then, it's just frolicking in the forest with the Kappa, and then this weird mad science scene. Oh my god. I wanted to enjoy this movie. I really did. But honestly, I think this might have even been. Now, I know you're going to look at me crazy, but this might have been even worse than Korean Batman.
Yeah, I mean, at least Korean Batman was weird in like a fun way.
Yeah, at least with that one, it was having our minds melt. Like, huh? With this movie, I was just like, okay, is it over yet?
Yeah, I was like kind of low key looking at my watch and like I was like slowly like kind of starting to do a few head bops. So I was like, yo,
Yeah, this just was not it. This was not it.
no.
They even had the balls to try to sequel bait. It's like the Kappa is like sinking into the water and the end sign comes in and then like a question mark comes in and it's like, no, don't you dare. Absolutely not. No.
Yeah, don't do it. Like, here's my thing. I don't even say I hate this movie. I don't think I would recommend this or really just watch this again because honestly, I don't even think you're going to get really that much out of it, like, just to be frank.
Yeah, no, that's what I was going to say. It's that I didn't really hate this movie. I just got nothing out of it.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it's definitely a movie.
Like, at least with Korean Batman, I felt something. It wasn't a particularly good something, but it was something. With this movie, it was just like, oh, God.
Yeah, just none of it just really works at all for me. It's a shame because I feel like this concept, like a parody of like kaiju films, like obviously, yeah, that sounds like a super banger idea. But I'm not even sure if I'm articulating the right words. It seems like they're just doing like the most minimal effort. It kind of just rubs me the wrong way. And yeah, I honestly really couldn't, and in good conscience, recommend this.
I couldn't either. Like, you look at the concept of this movie and you think it's gonna just be big dumb fun. And like for like that brief moment with the kaiju fight, it was, but the rest of it was just so boring.
Yeah.
That is the worst thing I could say about a bad movie. It's that
it's boring.
I got nothing out of it.
Yeah, like this is to me the true meaning of like bad. Like there's movies that are like technical level, maybe like not the best. And I hate actually using the term bad, but yeah, this one was just kind of bad. Like other than like the melting scene and like the kaiju fight, like there really wasn't much to kind of like talk about or unpack.
No, this was just, and then this happened.
And then this happened.
And then this happened.
Yeah, and when movies do that in general, like that's like my least favorite type of movie because to me, that just tells me that you don't expect much from your audience and you don't expect them to get better.
It's like, I would rather a movie be fun bad than boring.
Yeah, it's just like there's just really not
like
much
most of
all.
the other, like the other movies we've done, I would more so say are fun bad.
Yeah,
this one was just there was nothing to it.
Yeah, there's nothing to it. It's just very basic, by the numbers, like kaiju movie. Like, I mean, it's definitely a movie. It's just it sucks that like such a cool premise again just kind of feels like it was like, well, hey, we don't need you anymore. Bye.
Yeah. I just want to know like how they talked Anno and Higuchi into being in this.
Yeah, that to me is far more interesting.
I want to know how that happened.
Legit. Yeah, but like you're saying, like, there's just really nothing that interesting enough to kind of set this apart to, make me pursue it. Because, again, like, I don't think doing a parody of like Showa or like other kaiju films in like the Japanese film industry is anything particularly new. It just this just doesn't really add anything to it. Like it doesn't change like the genre or anything. And I get why, because they're just trying to pay homage to what came before them, but and and this is gonna make me sound kind of mean, but as a writer, I feel like it's your responsibility to do something new or a little bit different because at some point everything's like derivative. Like you cannot write something that's 100% original. And to me, this just seems like 4 different kaiju movies that they just threw in the blender. And it kind of gives me the vibes of like what is it, like the Friedberg. I can't even like my brain
The
just
the Friedberg Seltzer
yes, like it's
parody
similar
movie.
kind of vibe. Like you'll get like a few chuckles that are like kind of genuine, but otherwise it's really nothing to write home about.
Yeah, there was just nothing to be gained from this. And again, that sucks because I wanted to enjoy this movie because I love kaiju movies, but there was just nothing to it.
Yeah, and just sometimes it be like that. But yeah, I mean, even with a bad movie, like again, there's still like a few like redeeming things. Like I thought the costumes are cute and it had like some fun, silly moments. It's just, it's not enough to make me want to watch this again.
Yeah, no, I'll probably even forget I watched this movie in like a day or two.
Yeah. Anyway, Gio, where can everyone find you?
So, main social media, yeah, EV King 13 at bluesky.social if you want to hear me complain about wrestling and other such things.
And you can find me on Blue Sky as well at crazylemur.bskysocial. I am also on Instagram at Lemurs Rule 1, where I just posted at the time of this recording a cute little video of my puppy playing with her Pokeball that she really loves. And I really wish that these pet toy companies, when they license stuff out, would make more like hardcore stuff for like actual dogs that they can't rip apart and eat shit for like 5 seconds. But that's an argument for another day. And I just wanted to thank all of our listeners who have kind of slowly trickled in the last couple weeks for supporting us. It's really meant the world to us, and we're gonna just keep on trucking along. And that's it. We'll see y'all later. Bye.
Bye.
Why did you put ketchup on a cucumber?
I like ketchup on cucumbers.
Oh, that's hot.